Politically, I see very little indication of change in either for the better or for the worse in Azerbaijan. What we have is an established regime, a dynastic regime that is likely to continue. What is going to change is the economic context of Azerbaijan as its economy moves from being based on oil to being one based on natural gas. A very different market, a very different economic situation, which will be very challenging. I think the easy years of economic prosperity built on oil are now coming to an end, and a much more challenging period of economic development lies ahead. Unfortunately, and I am somewhat in a biased position because I was put on the Azerbaijani Foreign Ministry's persona non grata blacklist. Most unfortunately, I regret that they did that. But I think that in general, the political leadership in Baku is showing itself to be insulated, detached from an understanding of changing events in the outside world, very unable to comprehend either European or American priorities in issues like development of rule of law, and that these are problems that cannot be avoided because they are fundamental in the way in which foreign policy is made, not just in Washington, but in Europe as well. And they will continue to be problems. I think they will be larger problems in the years ahead. I certainly hope that the American-Iranian relationship can improve because it has been very bad for 30 years. I think that recent steps are encouraging, but I will make no prediction about how things may develop between Washington and Tehran. But almost regardless of that question, I think the importance and the priority, not just of Azerbaijan, but of the Central Caucasus region in general for the United States, is in decline. Part of that has to do with the end of the American military engagement in Afghanistan. Part of it has to do with other American foreign policy priorities and commitments in other parts of the world. But I think part of it has to do with a long-term process by which the kind of engagement the United States had in the Caucasus in the 1990s and the early years of this century has been in overall decline. I think it's only because of the war in Afghanistan that the United States has given as much attention to Azerbaijan and its neighbors that it has. I think this is a long-term process and it's going to continue. So that 5 years from now, I think Azerbaijan will certainly be in a lower stature in terms of American interests and priorities than it is today, and significantly lower than it has been in the past.